Hey, good morning. This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you the AA Word of the Day for August 13th, 2024. And the quotation is from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 77. And third, having thus cleaned away the debris of the past, we considered how, with our newfound knowledge of ourselves, we may develop the best possible relations with every human being we know. And this is the commentary from the Daily Reflections. As I faced the 8th step, everything was required for successful completion of the previous 7 steps came together. Courage, honesty, sincerity, willingness, thoroughness. I could not muster the strength required for this task at the beginning, which is why this step reads, became willing. I needed to develop the courage to begin, the honesty to see where I was wrong, a sincere desire to set things right, thoroughness in making a list, and willingness to take the risk required for true humility. With the help of my higher power in developing these virtues, I completed this step and continued to move forward in my quest for spiritual growth. Well, these are very insightful comments that we weren't ready. They're called steps because we grow. And I'm thinking them as steps going up. We get to a higher plane of serenity with each step that we complete. And sometimes you can't do something, but you're willing. You became willing, as we said in the previous reading of the other day. Became willing to make amends. You might not know how. This is work you and your sponsor do when you make your list. And as I said, you can't say I made amends to everyone because that's not possible. Some people die, especially if you've been drinking for a long time. Some of the people that you knew when you started drinking, may not be around 30 years later when you decide you've had enough and you want to quit. So that's the key concept, became willing. And you work with those like I said, a sponsor. A sponsor is very important. They've gone through it and they can help you when you stumble. And if you're thinking just in generalities, I stole, I lied, you got to think of all the people affected by those character defects of stealing and lying, and make it actual amends if you can do it. If they're still alive, if you can do it without harm to them. You don't want to hurt anybody anymore. And it was tough to me because when I did start, I thought of all the... I thought more of the things I had done wrong than the people I had harmed. And it was a journey to be able to put a name to the particular harms that I did. And it's a constant thing because you're going to do it even in sobriety, hopefully less. Hopefully, you treat people better and you don't run into the jackpots that you did. Now I certainly don't isolate myself from my family. I'm in regular contact, even though, they're 1,500 miles north of me. And on the other hand, I have much less as family. I started out with 7 brothers and 2 sisters, and now I'm down to 1 brother and 2 sisters. So, but I made the attempt. I had a particular brother who died a very painful death from liver cancer, who it was very tough to reconcile with. And I don't blame him. I tried and I did what I could, but he was in a lot of pain and didn't want to hear anything. The only thing he wanted to hear was that he was going to get better, and that wasn't going to happen. And he lived quite a bit of distance away from me, but my family and we would get together and go visit him. And the last time I worked every other weekend, so I had to go a weekend that I had off, and we went up to see him, and there wasn't really. He was just changed by the disease, and no matter what we said, he was mad that he was dying, and he knew he was. He was 2 weeks from his death at that point. So we never did tell my mother that he died, because she was ill herself, and it would have been too much for her, because she worried about him with all his addictions, and he was always in jail or close to going to jail, and spending all his money on lawyers. And when you stop drinking, that's the freedom you have. You're not worrying, how am I going to pay my lawyer? I have no lawyer. I don't pay anybody anything to get me out of trouble, because I don't get into it. So before I start dragging along and losing the message here, I wish you all a good day, a safe day, and a sober day. If you like it, subscribe, hit like, and just so I can see how many people are listening to this message. I'm not really looking to make any money on this deal. This is part of the service that I do. I have limited mobility. So at these corporate headquarters here on the 25th floor, I joke about that. I hope you know it's a joke. I'm on my front porch. It's not the 25th floor. I'm not overlooking the Gulf. I am overlooking the Gulf of Mexico, but from ground level. I like to have fun with it. Someone sent me a message. What do you mean you're going to send it to that department? He had a suggestion. I said, well, I'll send it to that department. It sounds really good. And I was kidding, but I don't know if he got the joke, so I'll try to tame my old man's sense of humor down. But God bless. Stay safe and sober.